So it's summertime, and everybody thinks of the summer is when they're going to get more time to read, which may or may not be true. But here's what I've noticed this summer. I've had more people than normal say, I can't figure out what to pick up next. And I think some of that is that we want a book that immediately grabs us, like our patience has dwindled from 100 pages to 50 to 25 to 2 or something. So I thought what I was going to do is come in the store and see if I look at our staff suggestions, what would I want to pick up that I haven't read yet or paid attention to. So I'm going to be your personal bookseller here for a minute. So one book that got my attention is August Blue by Deborah Levy. So Deborah Levy, who I adore, has written a bunch of memoirs that are, I think somebody would use the word small, but I just think she is an extraordinary writer and observer about women in general. So here's the shelf talker from Nora. And Nora and I generally agree. So she says, appropriately, this tale of doubling asks to be read twice. Well, I don't need to know much more than that. Oh, I did read Hang the Moon already, and in case you forget that I talked about that, you should immediately, I promise you, if you pick up Hang the Moon, you will not put it down. You'll just love the character there, who's a female bootlegger. So then this is the other book that caught my eye, My Murder, a novel by Katie Williams. So it says it's darkly funny, deeply scary, and utterly original. So let's see what Becky said. My Murder is an endlessly fascinating, darkly comedic read that grabs your attention right away. So see, that's what we're looking for. It grabs your attention right away. And it's a twist on a domestic thriller set in the near future. New mother turned murder victim. All right, I think I want to read that. Wait, I thought there was another one that had my attention. Oh, this is a book I did read, The Guest by Emma Cline. Emma Cline wrote The Girls, which was sort of about the Charles Manson girls. This is about The Guest is sort of a woman that's somewhere between an escort and clever and opportunistic. Emma Cline, this character, who you may or may not like, is like trying to get away with something and almost does in trying to take advantage of people. Well, here's what I'll tell you. You just ought to read it because it's like a fun read. You'll read it in a minute. You might like the main character more than I did, but I was sure glad I got to meet her. All right, now we're going to look at paperback staff suggestions. So 2 books here. Well, no, more than that. So one is The Trust, which I think I talked about when it came out in hardcover, is a fascinating look at a man's story who was like a J.P. Morgan type character. But you hear the story about his life from 3 or 4 different perspectives, and then you'll love the ending because it's a perspective that makes you think you haven't heard a reliable narrator about this guy. So it's a financial guy, but the fact that it's about finance may be of interest to you, but it's not critical for you to love the book. For anybody who hasn't read Midnight Library, you just have to read it. And here's why. Because all of us have regrets. Here, the main character gets to figure out if she had done things differently and followed through on things that she now regrets, they may or may not have turned out the way she figured. So this definitely got my attention. The name of the book, well, for one, I love the jacket. Look at the jacket. The God of Good Looks by Brianne McAvoy. What the shelf talker says is if you like lessons in chemistry, which apparently millions of people have, read The God of Good Looks next. Well, that makes me want to pick it up. Well, anyway, hopefully you're going to get some time to read, and hopefully we've given you some ideas. If you live near one of our stores, either in Middletown or here in Madison, you'll really have fun if you get to stand in front of this bookcase, or you could go to our website and look up staff suggestions, or you could just read what I told you to read.